What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Sports Fights. My name is Jordan Parhar, and I'm your host for this episode in which we are going to be debating about some different sports topics. So today I'm joined by three great guests. First is a man who is a fan of the Golden State Warriors only because he was drafted by them in NBA 2K. What was it?
2K9.
2K9.
Yep.
There he is. It's Nathan Hutton, ladies and gentlemen. Nate, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing great this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right. Second on the panel is the leading goal scorer in the BCIT men's rec, I guess like intramural hockey league. So he's pretty much a legend around these parts. It's a great Gino Cutri, ladies and gentlemen. Gino, how are you?
Doing good, Jordan. Thanks.
All right. Pleasure to have you here, Gino. And last but not least, they call him Big Nicka. He's he's a huge personality. I'm so glad to have him on the show today. He does lots of great impressions. Won't be doing any of those this afternoon, though. We'll see. It's Nick Arthur, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for the invite. Ready to get us going here.
All right, here we go, guys. So how this is going to work is we are going to get into a little bit of a debate. These three are going to debate each other on 5 different sports questions, and then from there, we're going to award some points, and the first person to 5 is going to win this thing. So after 5 questions, we're going to go to a speed round, and then that will kind of pick things up as we go from there. Before we get into it, do not forget, like and subscribe this video on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Fights Roundtable on YouTube, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well, at Sports Fights Roundtable. Okay, guys, first question, let's jump right into it. The start of the Major League Baseball season is right around the corner, and this is a great time of year for if you're a baseball fan, because every team has hope. Anybody could win the World Series, really. Except maybe, a few teams. But for really, everybody has a little bit of faith. So, my question for you guys is, who is going to win the World Series? And, Nick, I'll throw this to you. Who's going to win? 30 seconds. You're on the phone.
I'm going to go with San Francisco Giants. They have one of the best pitchers in baseball in Madison Bumgarner. They also picked up 2 pitchers with Johnny Cueto and my boy, Samardzija. But they also have a strong offense. Joe Panik's coming back. They got Buster Posey, former MVP. And you got Duffy, who's coming off a huge rookie season. And they also have a pretty weak division with the Rockies. Had a shitty season last year. Lost almost 100 games. Padres, Diamondbacks, struggling. The only competition is the Dodgers. Plus, they won back in 2010. Didn't win in 2011. Won in 2012. Didn't win in 2013. Won in 2014. Didn't win in 2015. 2016, let's keep that even magic going, baby.
All right, there we go. Nick, your time is up. Thank you very much. Okay, Nate, let's throw it to you. We'll save the rebuttals for the open forum round. Who do you think is going to win the World Series?
I'm going to go with an AL East team that took all of our hearts back in October. And we were at the pub watching them on every single day they were playing. It was the Toronto Blue Jays, led by Josh Donaldson, the AL MVP coming off last season. They lost David Price, okay? I know you're both going to say they lost David Price, and that's going to be a huge loss to them. But Marco Estrada really came on late in that playoff push, and they have bats that no team can counter in the entire majors. Regardless of the way they were playing, these bats, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and Josh Donaldson, these 3 guys can knock 50 homers each.
All right, Nate, time is up. Well done. That was good. You ended it like right when the time ended, so that was well put together, Nathan. Gino, who's going to win the World Series?
Well, the Chicago Cubs.
The Cubbies.
100 since 1908. Roosevelt was the president. Model T Ford came out. 2016, Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs.
World Series champs. Tough, best division in baseball with the Cardinals, Pirates, and the Cubs as well. But they did a great job in free agency. They took away Hayward and John Lackey from the Cardinals in the division. You put them behind Arrieta and John Lester, Great 1-2-3 punch there. Also, Swiss Army knife, Ben Zobrist from KC coming over to the Cubs. They're going to have a great lineup. And you look at the young guys. Chris Bryant, phenomenal third baseman.
Phenomenal.
NL Rookie of the Year. He's going to get better. Schwarber, phenomenal again.
All right,
he's going to
Gino,
get
I'm
better.
going to have to cut you off. But, okay, there we go. Okay, so excellent. Good argument there. I like that. All 3 of you had some interesting takes on that. And now I will leave the mic open to the 3 of you. So, Nick, tell Gino or Nate Why, or tell them both, why are they wrong?
With Gino with the Cubs, honestly, MLB has him at the most favorite team to win a World Series as well this year. I don't mind the Cubs. I think they're also a good contender. Jays though, their division's way too tough. Boston picking up David Price can be huge for them. The Yankees picked up a couple. Their bullpen is unreal for the Yankees. I think it's gonna be too competitive for the Jays to.
Who can stop the Blue Jays bats?
The bullpen of the New York Yankees could.
On both your teams. Let's talk about both your teams.
Well, the pitching on the Cubs is like unbelievable. You got Arrieta, Lester, Lackey. Their bullpens are
Giants
good.
bullpen has three amazing pitchers as well as Madison Bumgarner, who like single-handedly won their fucking World Series.
The first thing to go in the playoffs is the bats,
2014.
right?
Yeah.
So if the bats go cold, I don't think the Jays, their starting pitching and their bullpen is
They're
not good
deep
enough.
enough in their bats
But
to
look
be
at the
able
Jays
to keep
last
up with
season.
it.
They weren't deep enough last year with David Price.
They had David Price.
They
the
have the
Royals shut him
experience
down
now.
last year.
They have the experience now that they earned from
I
last
don't
season.
think
That
so.
experience is so big
They
in the
lost
playoff push.
they lost their ace and didn't pick up another ace. Yeah, Stroman staying healthy all these seasons is gonna be huge for the Jays. He's a great pitcher, but the Jays competition.
Look at Kansas City, the experience that they earned over last year that extended into this past season.
Their division's gonna be tough this year.
Of course, their division's
as a
going to be
Jays fan,
tough.
I know it's gonna be tough.
They have the
for
Red
them
Sox
to
and the Yankees. The Yankees have the biggest payroll of any team in the MLB. But the bats of the Blue Jays can't be stopped by any pitching lineup in the MLB.
But
They were stopped.
Yeah,
They were stopped.
just to interject, did they not get stopped by the Kansas City Royals?
They
last year?
got stopped by the Royals.
For the Jays to win the World Series, they need home field advantage because when you play in Casey's Park, it's not a hitter's park, right? It's a defensive park. You can't bang out home runs in October in that park. It's really tough, right? We saw it happen in October. They lost in 6, right?
So you're saying
With the
that-
Cubs, the pitching and the defense. Don't forget first baseman Anthony Rizzo as well. Like their 26 and under is by far the best roster in the MLB, and I think they're just going to get it done. I think this could be the year. 108 years, and this is going to be the year.
See, I thought last year they were going to do it because of Back to the Future 2, and I just thought that it was just meant to be. But maybe they were off a year, Gino. Who knows? Am I crazy? Just to throw this out there. Why did no one mention the Washington Nationals? Could the Nationals make some noise potentially in the NL that could kind of cause some problems for the Cubs maybe down the road in the playoffs? Anybody? No?
I didn't say the Nationals. I'll just take this right away. I didn't say the Nationals because I like Bryce Harper, but I don't like anyone else on that team, honestly. And I'm not the biggest baseball guy on the planet, but I don't like anyone else really on that Nationals team except for the greatest player in baseball right now, which is Bryce Harper.
For me, the Nationals, it's more about getting in their own way. I think Bryce Harper, he could be a catch in the locker room. Like, he's a young guy. He's maybe the biggest star in baseball, him, maybe Mike Trout. I just think for them, it's getting in their own way in that division and with themselves.
Right. What about the Mets? No mention of the Mets, Nick. You didn't think about talking about, because if we're talking about pitching, which you really were behind with, the Giants. The Mets are pretty unreal.
Mets are good, but Giants, and they already have Madison Bumgarner, who won 3 of those World Series games 2014. He's got the experience.
DeGrom, Syndergaard. I don't know.
Yeah, they have Harvey.
Harvey.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I guess I'll have to wait till the baseball season starts here, right?
I guess, right? Okay. And I'll stop interjecting. Okay, guys. Last chance. Nate, why are the other two wrong? Give you one final 30 seconds.
I'm sticking with it, as I think with the experience they earned last season, and yes, the Kansas City Royals did beat them. There's no argument against that. That happened. That's fact. But with the bats that the Blue Jays have and the experience that they earned, I think that they have the tools now in order to make that deep playoff run. And I think these guys, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, who have been there for a while, Josh Donaldson hasn't been there for as long, but they want to bring that to Toronto.
Nick, we didn't hear you say why Gino was wrong. So why are the Cubs not going to win the World Series?
In the beginning, I said, Gino, I did agree with the Cubs on the thing. MLB chose the Cubs too to be the winner.
So you're backing Gino's.
I could see the Cubs doing as well, but again, I think it's just the curse the Cubs have honestly right now. 108 years is kind of a long time, but
will Bartman come back? Will he?
He's actually allowed back in Wrigley Field, guys. He's allowed back, but I don't know. The Cubs, they made it there last year, just couldn't get it done, but maybe that experience brings them. But I'm sticking with San Francisco Giants, keeping that even magic going, and I think they got a good team. They picked up good players in the offseason. I think they're gonna be a strong team this year.
Okay, I would give Gino a chance to rebut, but I think he is the clear winner of this round. Nick supported Gino. Gino had some very good arguments. The young pitching, not even young pitching, but just good pitching. The young bats on that team. You mentioned Rizzo, Schwarber. I mean, I think the Cubs will have the best shot. I think Gino made the best arguments. So Gino wins round 1. So 1-0, nothing for Gino Cutri, also known as Luigi, however you want to call him. All right, guys, that brings this part of the Sports Fights Roundtable to a close. We've gone too long for this edition, so make sure you tune in next time for the rest of this fight to find out who is going to win, Gino, Nick, or Nate. My name is Jordan Parhar. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you then.